So I'm going to try to tackle this one here, and I have to say, going into this one, it was actually a little bit tough, because when I step back and look through a lot of my favorite fragrances, a lot of scents that I like to recommend to you guys because I think they're really good, and also fragrances that I like to wear myself, a lot of them are older than 5 years. So it really was something I didn't think about all that often, and now it's starting to sink in. Wait a minute, first of all, I'm getting old, right? Time is going so quick. Fragrances that feel like just a couple years old are now, 6, 7, 8 years old. But it also just shows how many fragrances were released years and years ago that I still really enjoy and wear. This is something that it doesn't die out quickly. Like there are some trends out there for sure, like different shoe trends and style trends and stuff that can be in and out, and there are certain fragrance trends as well, but a lot of the stuff I gravitate towards was released years and years ago. I mean, one that I can think of right away is a Creed Green Irish Tweed, released in the mid-'80s, well before I was even born. I still wear that one often in the springtime. So you can imagine when I was putting together a video of 10 of what I think to be the best fragrance releases within the past 5 years it was a little bit challenging, but I did my best here to try to compile a list of what I think has been some of the best releases here within, this half a decade so far. And there could have been many more as well. I wanted to keep it to 10, and well, quite frankly, it would have been even more challenging to keep coming up with more here to try to really fit in here and what I felt was good. So this was kind of a good stopping point. I think these are all amazing in their own way. They're all scents that I stand behind, and we have a mix of some, very new releases and also ones that have been out for a few years now. I will provide links to all of these down below to discounters, so you can pick them up at a price below retail. Let's get this started with BVLGARI Man Wood Neroli. So this one's been an upcoming star on the channel. It's nothing new. I mean, it's, obviously no older than 5 years, but it's not a brand new release, right? I think the wave or the hype train of Wood Neroli and Wood Essence has done left by now. I was extremely late to that. I did not get this or Wood Essence when they first came out, and I didn't, do a first impressions at that time. So I missed out on that. I was a bit late to the party. Now I'm starting to come around to them because I was doing a buying guide video, and Wood Neroli especially has really been blowing my mind. Neroli, bergamot, orange blossom, and woods are some of the main notes. I love how it smells. It reminds me a little bit of like a Xerjoff Kobe because it has some sweetness, kind of like an orange, citrus, woody sweetness in a way. It reminds me a little bit of Xerjoff Neo because of that super bright bergamot neroli combination. And it basically what I'm saying is it reminds me of some top shelf, niche citrus fragrances. And there's other bits and pieces of some other things out there as well that it can kind of slot in with. But to me, I'm telling you, this is a stunner. I mean, it has this crushed neroli leaves smell. Like, it literally smells like you took some neroli leaves and you crushed them up over a bed of like a freshly picked orange. Maybe you threw some sugar on top of it and you were smelling it. It's kind of what it's all about, man. The quality to price ratio is off the charts. It's also a decent performer for the price and for the fact that it's kind of a spring and summer scent. And I think this one here is astounding. And more people should continue to pick this one up and give it a chance. Don't wait around on it like I did. Give this one a shot. Next up, we've got another kind of spring and summer scent. This one's Acqua di Gio Profondo. This is kind of the next big thing after Profumo. Now, I do believe there were some things released in between there. You got Acqua di Gio Absolute and Absolute Instinct, that sort of thing, right? And Absolute never really became quite as popular as Profumo or Profondo. So this was really the next one where people were really backing this one hard and saying like, yo, Profondo, this is amazing. And this could potentially be like the next Profumo. Who knows if it'll actually get quite to that point. I still think it has a ways to go for sure, but I think it has what it takes to be as successful as Profumo is, and maybe even as successful as the original Acqua di Gio. Sea notes, mineral notes, rosemary, and orange are some of the key components here. It has this kind of oceanic, aromatic, aquatic smell with these minerals in here. very photorealistic, very summertime oriented, very fun, and in some instances, relatively playful as well. This one separates itself quite a bit from the original and from Profumo. There are still bits and pieces of the original DNA in here, just the aquatic note that is used, but the minerals and the aromatics bring this one to a whole different level, and it's a different wearing experience for sure. So maybe, you want to stick with that kind of traditional Acqua di Gio smell, but you also want something different and kind of updated and refreshed. This is one you could go for. Not that Acqua di Gio, the original, is outdated. That one will always be timeless, but this one does kind of bring a more modern take of perfumery into consideration here. I think this one, hands down, without a doubt, is one of the better releases we've had within the past 5 years. Absolutely amazing, and I love to wear it when it's hot outside. So we're going to go with basically a brand new release. Now, at first I was thinking, okay, should I do this? Should I, put it in this video so soon because it is brand new? And I was like, maybe I shouldn't. But then I realized this is my video. No one is telling me what to put in here besides myself. So, it's going in. It's a Gentleman Reserve Privé Eau de Parfum by Givenchy. Hot off the press, brand new fragrance. I've done my first impressions. I'm getting ready to do my review. Haven't got it done yet. I'm kind of in the final stages here of giving it a couple more wearings because I've been hitting this one pretty hard and testing it. But throughout my testing, I've concluded that this is amazing. And I think I like it more than the original EDP. It might be my favorite in the line. And I know that sounds ridiculous. It just came out, blah, blah, blah. But, for me at this point, I've smelled so many things that it doesn't take long for me to kind of pick up on what's special and what's unique and what, really has going for it. I can tell right away, especially in a world where I'm getting in new releases all the time. I'm smelling as many different things as I can for the channel. When I get kind of a diamond in the rough, so to speak, I know it right away. Iris, chestnut, whiskey, and amber are some of the main notes. Smells amazing. Just to give you a quick rundown, think of Gentleman Eau de Parfum, but richer, heavier, and with a little bit of a boozy touch. That's what this one's all about. This one also has much more of a chocolatey smell to it as well. That cacao note that I don't know if they list for sure, but it's kind of what it smells like. Comes through very strong. It's rich, it's slightly resinous, and it has a whole bunch going on. This one packs a serious punch. It's also been a very strong performer for me. This is a home run release and something that I'm blown away with, to be honest with you. And that doesn't happen that often these days, at least from new releases, that is. So we're going to go to another semi-new release, not this year, but last year, kind of, I guess, close to around this time last year it came out. It's Dolce & Gabbana Light Blue Forever. I know. You're probably tired of seeing this one, but it's true, man. It has grapefruit, ozonic notes, violet leaf, musk. We'll get that out of the way there. Opens up with this rindy, tart, sour, and slightly sugary grapefruit note, which is unlike anything else I've smelled, especially on the designer level. I mean, the opening of this one, that citrus pop, is unparalleled to really anything else that I can think of when it comes to designers. And that's saying something because I'm kind of a tough critic on citrus fragrances these days because my passion now is really into the heavier, boozy, tobacco, vanilla, amber fragrances. So when I go back and I judge aquatics and citrus fragrances, which is where I started out, I don't go easy on them. And this one here exceeded my expectations by a mile. So what makes this one so special is that the Dolce & Gabbana Light Blue line was kind of dying. It really was. I mean, they peaked with light blue and tints, and it's been downhill since then. Every flanker that I can think of, Italian Zest, Love is Love, and even, all of the limited edition ones, none of them just did that well. They couldn't nearly touch Eau Intense and the original in terms of popularity, sales, support, that sort of thing. And it was getting to the point where I just wasn't even really looking forward to a new release anymore until I smelled this one, and they killed it. They absolutely crushed it. Easily one of the best things I've smelled within the past 5 years in terms of new releases. And this is just very good. And with summer right around the corner, I can't wait to hit this one hard. We're going to go into another newer release here. This one is John Varvatos XX Artisan. Vetiver, bitter orange, and Sichuan pepper are some of the main notes. So this is Varvatos' take on a vetiver-centric fragrance. I mean, when you think about it, they really didn't have one until now. You know, vetiver was used relatively often in a lot of their artisan ones, you know, the fresher ones, Artisan Pure, the original, Artisan Aqua. I'm sure all of them contain vetiver to some extent, but not nearly to this level. And I think they were due for a vetiver fragrance, right? If you think about it, a good majority of, you know, the bigger designer brands and niche brands kind of have a vetiver-centric fragrance. Now, each is done in their own style, whether it's a soapy clean vetiver or it's a, you know, a stronger, earthier, almost leathery vetiver. There's a whole bunch of different variations, but you know, John Varvatos went the super clean, super refreshing route here, and it smells absolutely incredible. It's smooth, it's high quality, it's so clean and refined. It's really unlike any other vetiver fragrance I've ever smelled. And I'm a big fan of the note. I have a lot of vetiver fragrances. You know, this does not smell like a gray vetiver or a ROJA Parfums vetiver or Terre d'Hermès. It's in a complete league of its own, and that's why I love it. As this one will continue to be on the market, the price will continue to drop down, hopefully into the normal John Varvatos fragrance price range here within the next few months to a year. It's already down to about 50 or so, depending on where you look, which is very solid, but it still has some room to come down a bit more. At $50, it's a steal of a price. I paid retail for this when it first came out, and I don't regret it one bit. So once you can get it for about 40 or so, I mean, this is a no-brainer at all. And it is great for spring, summer, and fall, just those times of the year where the weather's a bit more fair. So we're going to go and cover a niche fragrance here. This is going to be from ROJA Parfums. Now, ROJA, they're always busy putting out new releases, putting out new fragrances. This one happens to be OLIGARCH Parfum. So, again, I want to emphasize this is the Parfum, brand new, basically hot off the press. This is an absolute beauty. The original OLIGARCH is an eau de parfum, and that one came out in, I don't know, it came out in a time where it wouldn't fit into the 5-year range here. But again, we're talking about the new Parfum version, which I just so happened to have on my hand. Sprayed it on when I was starting out the video because I wanted to smell it. This, weirdly enough, is a fragrance that I have loved for a long time, but I've never really talked about. Actually, I can show you here. I got this travel atomizer from them when I ordered from their website. That's one thing that is cool about ordering from them, you know, full retail, is you can choose, like, I think it's a 7.5 milliliter sample. Just about dropped it. Yeah, 7.5 milliliters you can choose. And so when I was placing an order with them a good couple years back, I chose OLIGARCH because it was always one that I was kind of interested in. And let me tell you, when I smelled this one for the first time, I was just astonished. I'm like, I wish I wouldn't have gotten this sample because now I want a bottle. And I didn't buy one for the longest time. And actually, ROJA, being the amazing supportive company that they are, they sent me the new Parfum, and they also sent me the EDP beforehand. It's crazy. It's like they know what I want and they know what I don't have. Great company. You know, I've said this before. People get upset when, you know, reviewers get free bottles. I've supported them from the beginning. I bought lots of fragrances. It's not like they gave me some freebies and now I started talking about them. But you can see the dent that I put in this here, wearing it relatively often, which for me is something very uncommon. I usually don't wear samples. I usually, you know, don't put that big of a dent in things because I have different things I'm testing all the time. But OLIGARCH was one that I kept going back to. I'm like, this is magical. You know, it has this kind of outdoors, springtime, woodsy, sparkling, magical appeal about it that I just love. Juniper berries, lemon, birch, bergamot, and cedar are some of the main notes, and there's many more as well. I was going to try to read off the whole note breakdown very quick and be kind of, you know, funny about it, but I'm not even going to try to do that. I'm not going to do that to you. OLIGARCH, beauty of a scent. The new Parfum is amazing. It's a gentleman's classic. It's so good, so smooth, so magical. I know I keep saying that word, but it really is. Got a lot of love for this stuff. Let's go and pick this up, and we're going to go with Guerlain L'Homme Idéal Extreme. I'm talking too much again. That's what happens when I talk about niche. And when I talk about fragrances that I really, really love, I can just go on forever. But we're gonna get this one rolling here. We've got tobacco, plum, and almond in this one. It's hard to find in the US. Most of the line is. It's a bummer, but I'm telling you, within the past 5 years, this is one of those key fragrances that I can remember smelling it for the first time when I first got it, and just being like, okay, I was not expecting this. This absolutely blew my mind in the best way possible, and it might be one of my favorites in the line. In fact, I know it is, but choosing between the EDP and this one is very tough. If I had to, and I've said this before, if I had to, it would probably be this one, but I don't want to have to do that. PACO Rabanne Pure Excess Night is up next. We have caramel, myrrh, ginseng, ginger, what else? Cacao, vanilla. Smells awesome. This is the something different that people want all the time in the fragrance community. They say, designer brands, give us something different. This is it. And you know what's funny? You don't see it talked about all the time. You know, I see a lot of people that just don't like it or don't want to try it. Well, this is your something different that you should try, because this is not PACO Rabanne, you know, territory at all. This smells like it could have been released from a brand that doesn't have that stigma attached to them, the Invictus 1 million stigma. I mean, this smells like it could be a Dolce & Gabbana or a BVLGARI or a Givenchy. It really does. The quality is amazing. It's unique. It's spicy. It's sweet. It's smooth. It's a little bit gourmand in some aspects. Smells amazing, and it's one of a kind. Next up, we have a new release from last year. It's Y Le Parfum. Apple, lavender, sage, and aldehydes are some of the main notes here. And it smells absolutely incredible. I've talked about this one before. If you thought Y EDP was good, which it is good, still love the EDP, this brings it to a whole nother level that I didn't even know was possible. It's smoother, it's richer, it's somehow even stronger in terms of the trail that it leaves in the air. There's just more going on, and it's kind of more so the fragrance collector's version of Y. You know, if the EDT, Live, EDP, and I guess even the fresh version just doesn't do it for you, if there is one that would, it would probably be the Parfum. The richness and the depth and the body that it has is amazing. It's got dimension, it's strong, it's a great compliment getter. I absolutely adore this fragrance. Fantastic release that I'm super pumped up about. I can't wait to wear it this year. And last up, from one black bottle to another, we have JOOP Homme Absolute. Super sharp looking stuff. This is the upgraded bottle, the 120 milliliter with a snap-on cap. Very, very nice. Love this presentation and love the fragrance. It's a JOOP. A lot of people will dismiss it because they don't like the original. I'm with you. Don't care for the original. Don't care for the EDP, which I covered not too long ago on the channel. And now they released a Le Parfum. I can imagine how that's going to go as well. But when you get into something like this, and JOOP Homme Wild and JOOP Homme Ice, they have some seriously impressive stuff. This one has incense, black pepper, ylang ylang. So it's got that fresh kick up top, but then this nice smoky, peppery kind of undertone underneath. It smells like fall. It just, I don't know, it reminds me of a fall fragrance. It reminds me of like a similar feeling that I get from wearing like Amouage Interlude Black Iris. You know, you get that smoke, you get that spiciness, the kind of ambery, resinous nuances underneath. I'm not saying they smell similar, but I'm talking about the feelings that it evokes in me. That's what this one gives me. And what's so nice is it's only like 40 bucks when in stock. I would hit the link down below. It'll be the last link to get this one while you can. The one problem with JOOP fragrances is when they go out of stock, they're usually out for a while. They're just kind of harder to get in the US a lot of times. So I encourage you, bust out your wallet, toss down the 40 bucks on this stuff. For people who are into smoky, spicy, masculine fragrances, you're not going to regret it. By the way, this did come out in 2019. Didn't get a whole lot of coverage, I don't think. But yeah, you know, it fits within that 5-year category, and it's amazing. That's going to do it for me. That is 10 of the best fragrances released in the past 5 years, at least in my opinion. There could have been more, but I wanted to try to keep this relatively short, make it easier on myself so I didn't lose my mind trying to come up with more. And I'm happy with these. I think these are all amazing, and we have some game changers here. I mean, I think a few of these can really change the trajectory of the men's fragrance genre in a huge way. Links to these will be down below. That's going to do it for me. Thank you so much for watching. Stay safe, stay healthy. We'll see you tomorrow with another one. Take care.